Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of history. Today now we are going to start with your first unit, that is the India and the Contemporary World 2, Nationalism in Europe in 19th century. In this chapter we will read about the French Revolution, how does the nationalism give birth in the heart of the people. The word nationalism came first time in French Revolution. So now let's start with the chapter. Here in the introduction you have seen that nationalism emerged as a major force in the 19th century which brought about a sweeping changes in Europe. The end result of all these changes was the emergence of the nation states in place of a dynastic empire of Europe. The concept of the modern state had been developing over a long period in Europe. French Revolution and the ideas of the nation. Now, it's a photo of French monarch Louis the 16th. The French Revolution that took place in 1789 was the world-shaking event. The French Revolution was first clear expression of nationalism. It was the first ever when the word nationalism came out from the dynasty where it led to the violent rejection of old system of the society and the government. It unleashed the principle of liberty, equality and fraternity with the utmost desire for a new socio-political order. The revolution brought far-reaching changes in Europe and paved the way for the revolutions in other countries of Europe. The revolutionary France offered the fraternity of assistance to all people who, like the French armies, uh, uh, French armies, they declared would be accompanied by the ending of the feudal obligations and confiscations of clerical and autocracy property. So, the French Revolution gave a clear meaning to the world that nationalism in 1789, where France was a nation state. Now, the people of the France were known as the French. The political and the constitutional changes that came with the outbreak of the French Revolution led the overthrow of the monarchy. King was overthrown and sovereign power came into the hand of French citizens. Now, all the power was in the hand of the French citizens, and the nation was built. The name of the nation was France, and the people who lived in the France were known as the French. Now, practices to develop concept of the nation. French Revolution and the French revolutionaries introduced the various measures and practices that would create a sense of collectivity, identity among the French people. First was the idea of la patrie, that means the fatherland, and le citoyen, that means the citizen emerged, that means the country was the fatherland of the citizen of France. Second, it implied that all the people will enjoy equal rights under the constitution. So constitution was there where all the people of the country will face the same equal rights. A new French flag was chosen to replace the former royal standard. The Estates Generals were renamed as the National Assembly and it was elected by the body of active citizens. New hymns were composed and oaths were taken in the name of the nation. A centralized administration system formulated uniform law for all the citizens within the territory, and an internal custom duties and dues were abolished. Uniform system of weights and measures were adopted, and French that was spoken and written in Paris became the common language of the entire nation. That means the now the French was the common language or a national language of France. And what was the legacy of the French Revolution? Now we will read about the legacy of the French Revolution, where the French within her own territories had ended feudalisms. They destroyed the royal authority and founded new institutions on the principles of the sovereignty of the people and equality. The old institution, that means the kingdom which had been overthrown by the France, remained in the countries of the continent. The revolutionaries declared that it was the aim of the French peoples to liberate the people of Europe from despotisms, in other words, help them to become a nation. The war conducted by the Napoleon on the continent brought large territories under his control. Now he introduced reforms that he had introduced in France. Although democracy was destroyed when Napoleon came to power, but he introduced the revolutionary principle in the field of administration. Now, what was the Napoleon Code of Civil Code in 1804? See, it's a Napoleon and his civil code. First, the Napoleon confirmed the rights of private property and land settlement of the revolution, and he established an equality before the law. Then he said that it did away with the privilege based on birth. The Napoleon Code was also introduced in the countries under French control like Holland, Switzerland, Italy and Germany. That means Napoleon controlled not only the France, he was the superior of for the Holland, Switzerland, Italy and Germany, where he imposed his civil code. It ended the feudalisms in the area conquered by the French army, and feudalism as a legal system involving the jurisdiction of the nobles over the peasants was ended. He also introduced the feudalism was as an economic system involving payment of feudal dues and manorial dues by the peasants too was ended. He also guided the old guilds, it were abolished, internal tariff barriers were removed, transport and communication systems were improved, and common currency and the standardized weights and measures were introduced by the Napoleon in his civil code of 1804. In the conquered territories, not everyone welcomed the French rule. Initially, in many countries like Holland and Switzerland, the French armies were welcomed as the liberators, but their attitude soon turned into hostility because the administrative changes did not bring much relief. Increased of taxation, censorship, forced conscriptions into the French armies required to conquer the rest of the Europe turned the people against the French. Now, factors for the emergence of the idea of the nationalisms and the nation states. You can see here major political features of the 18th centuries in Europe. In the mid 18th century, there was no nation states in Europe as we know them. Totally, Germany, Italy, Switzerland were divided into the kingdoms. So no country was there. All were divided into the kingdoms, duchies and cantons. It is an Habsburg Empire in 1848. Now, the rulers had their own autonomous territories. Europe and Central Europe was under the autocratic monarchies, ruling over the diverse people. Then rise of a new social group in 19th century. First, the landed autocracy. What was the landed autocracy? Landed aristocracy was the dominant class of Europe, both socially and politically. They owned large estates in the countryside and also town houses. They spoke French in high societies and for the purpose of the diplomacy. The members of these classes were united by a common way of life. Their families were often connected by the ties of marriage. That means they used to marry within themselves. The landed aristocracy was a small group where while bulk of the population was made up of peasants. In the west, land was cultivated by the tenants and small farmers. And in the western parts of the Central Europe, the growth of industrial production, that means in the western parts of the Central Europe, industries, production and the trade was growth. The town and the emergence of the commercial classes lived there. As a result, industrial revolutions, new social group came into the society, that is the working class population and the middle class consisting of the professional, industrialists and businessmen. Now what did the liberal mean? The term liberalism came from the Latin words liber, meaning free. The idea of national unity in early 19th century Europe were associated with the ideology of liberalisms. What is the liberalisms? Before the law was political liberalisms who believe that the individuals are the basis of the law and society. Society and its institutions exist to further to end of individuals without showing favor to those higher social rank. Citizens make laws and agree to abide by those laws. It is based on the belief that individuals know best what is the best for them, and political liberalism gives right to vote to all the adult citizens. That means adult franchise was there. Limited meaning of the political liberalisms. Although the political liberalism stood for the equality before the law, it did not stand for universal suffrage. In revolutionary France, which was the first experiment in liberal democracy, the right to vote and the right to get elected were given to the property owning men. Men without property and women were excluded from right to vote. Under the Jacobins, for the brief period, all men got the right to vote, and the Napoleonic Code went back to the limited suffrage, and women were reduced to status of the minor. Those women were treated as a minor over there, and those who had land on the property, they were only allowed to give the vote. Then came the economic liberalisms, and economic liberalism was a right of property where the economic liberals wanted a little or no government regulation of the market. Value of goods for and services should be set by unfettered choices of individual and accepted the economic inequality that arose from unequal bargaining positions. So that's all for today's session. We will continue this topic in our next session. Till then, have a nice day and take care of your health.